What's up? It's Juice Beats, back again with another race video, and this one is the Stage 1 Crit Club on the Volcano circuit, and I just jumped into this one. I signed up for it about 20 minutes before, so I got a little bit of a warm-up in and decided to jump right in and work on my racing a little bit. I'm not sure if I'll get to race this week, so I wanted to at least get some sort of race in this week, and so I jumped on Zwift. I was supposed to be doing a Zone 2 ride, but I wanted to get, since this one was fairly short, about 10 miles or so, wanted to get a little bit of some racing experience in, and then do my Zone 2 afterwards. So that's exactly what I did. I jumped into this race and just wanted to knock it out and then do my Zone 2 ride afterwards. But here we go. We got a little bit of a lead in right here, and I'm going pretty hard at the beginning, trying to stay up towards the front. Of course, I've talked about in some of my Zwift races before, this is what you need to do to be able to stay in it. So you got to stay up close to the front if you want to be there towards the end. And that's what I'm doing here. And since this circuit is fairly flat, not too many feet of elevation, and it's fairly short, so about a little over 10 miles or so. You got to go out fast. You gotta basically hit those watts for the entire time, and just make sure that you're staying up towards the front best as possible, so that you're at it or right there at it at the end. So as you can see, I got the aero boost right away from the beginning, and I'm just gonna hold on to this. I don't want to take any chances for the rest of the race, getting something that I really can't use or don't need, like the feather or anything like that, because there's really nothing on this course that's that tough, I guess, as far as hills go. So I want to hold on to this aero till the end here. And right away, we're 1 mile in, and I am just trying to see what the Peloton is doing. I'm digging in, putting in over 400 watts. I'm seeing where the Peloton's at. Maybe I can get a little bit of a lead here on a breakaway, but I'm feeling pretty good. My legs are feeling pretty good at this point, and I just want to see, maybe I can get a few seconds on everybody right here. You can see, didn't quite work out, but just wanted to kind of test it and see where everybody else was at and what everybody else was thinking at this point. So got that little bit of a lead, little bit of a breakaway from everybody, and then of course they caught up pretty quickly. So gonna sit in right here for a little bit and conserve a little bit of energy, use the Zwift draft a little bit possibly here. You can see my wattage is not crazy. I mean, we're in the 200s to 300 range, and I'm still able to sit up towards the front right here. So I'm not quite trying to do a breakaway or anything like that, but my wattage is keeping me up towards the front at this point. Skipped ahead a little bit, so we've done the lead in already, and here I go. I'm gonna test the waters a little bit more here. We're gonna jump out to the front, and it looks like there's a couple flyers off the front as well right now. So at this point I was trying to bridge up to them a little bit. So I did put in a little bit of a dig right here to see if we could get a little bit closer, because didn't want them to get away, and I want to say it's 2 or 3 riders there. It's kind of hard to see, but it looks like I think there's 3 riders there. So I dropped the hammer a little bit, got a little bit of a lead, and I think that brought the Peloton up a little bit more, so that now instead of them getting away from us at this point, we're closing in on them. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. I didn't think I was going to bridge it completely myself, unless I wanted to completely tire myself out at this point, but still early in the race. Yeah, just didn't want them to get away, and wanted to see where the Peloton was at as far as motivation to bring that breakaway back here. So fast forward just a little bit more, and here I go. I think we were falling a little bit too far behind. We've let them get an 8-second lead, so wanted to lead the charge again here, pushing a little bit more and trying to push the speed up so that we can close this thing down. Although we still have about 6 miles left, still didn't want them to get away with that 8-second lead that they have at the moment. So pushing the speed a little bit here, and we can still see them there in the distance. You've got the Tron bikes of a couple of the riders there, so you can see them in the distance, which is good because you can always tell kind of how far they are at this point. So so that was me leading the charge for a little bit there, making sure that the Peloton's in check and that we're going after the same kind of goals here at this point. And I think we are closing in on them. It's hard to tell because I can't see who is over there on the right. I'm looking to see, if we're able to see the front riders, how far they are in front. But because there's so many riders together at this point in the Peloton, it's kind of hard to tell how far those riders are out front. And then we hit that little bit of a roller hill and fell a little bit behind. And I think that's just because, Zwift takes into account your weight and everything compared to everybody else. So had to put in a little bit of a dig to get back with the Peloton, but I wasn't too worried at that point or anything like that, that I fell a little bit behind there. I was still in the draft. It just, fell to the back of it a little bit there. But there they are in the distance. Let's see if you can see how far they are. I might have to get up a little bit closer to the front here to be able to see that, but it looks like we've closed it down to maybe 4 seconds or so from the 8 seconds that it was. So it doesn't seem like they are that far away at this point. Fast forward just a little bit more and we are closing in. It's much, much closer now. They are within a couple seconds now. And we are hopefully going to catch them here in just a minute. We only have a little over 3 miles or so left. And it's coming down to the last little bit here. So didn't want them to get away early on. So I led the charge a couple times to try to catch them. Here I go again off the front, just a little bit, pushing the watts and pushing the speed a little bit more so that we catch them a little bit quicker here. And I think I push a little bit down this hill a little bit more so we catch them as well. Just a little bit. I'm not putting out a ton of watts, but just putting out a little bit of watts going down that hill, I think sped everybody up as well. So here we go. We finally catch those 3 flyers off the front. And now we are all back together for the last 3.3 miles of the race. We're heading in 30 miles an hour and we're moving pretty smoothly at this point. So next thing I'm thinking is, could there be another break? Could I break away at this point? Maybe I should test the waters. I think I'm still feeling pretty good at this point in the race. Obviously it's been a tough race, as far as pushing out the watts, but still feeling pretty good about everything, and I'm still sitting up there towards the front. Just got to make sure that I have enough at the end. This hill right here that is close to the finish line is the toughest part of this race. So you do have to push out the watts up this hill, and that's why you see a lot of people using the feather at this point, just to help them so they don't have to push out as many. But you see I'm over 500 or so there, going up that thing just to keep speed with everybody else. And yeah, we're going into the last lap here coming up shortly, right through the volcano. The last, I think it's going to be about 2.5 miles or so for the last lap. I think that's about how it goes. Here I am, setting myself up at the front. And here we go. I can see the start-finish line, or I guess the finish line on here because we started at a different place. So see that there. Everybody's getting a little antsy. We're trying to push the speed a little bit here. I've still got that aero boost. I've been holding on to that for the entire race. That's one thing I wanted to make sure I had at the end, just for the sprint, because usually I guess it's very tough for people to go on a breakaway in this game here. But you know, if they did, then I would probably have to use the arrow at a different point. But for this, I felt like it was going to come down to a sprint at the end. So we got the last 2.3 here, and still in good position. Still trying to stay up front here, and working hard. You can see I'm pushing out, 300, 400 watts, depending on where we're at here, but I'm still doing well. Still keeping my RPMs up. I feel like heart rate's still intact here. We're not in the 170s, 180s or anything like that, so we're not at the top end at all. And we're still throwing ride-ons to everybody at this point. Okay, I skipped ahead about a half mile or so because I wanted to show this part. This is where I was thinking maybe I could push it a little bit more here. Maybe I can get a little bit of a lead and possibly break away at this point. There's only 1.5 miles. Maybe I can push it enough that I'll be able to get away here at this point. So I am pushing, over 300, close to 400 watts, just trying to see if I'm able to push it away from everybody. Of course, you got some other strong guys keeping up with me at this point, and they are rolling with me. So don't think I'm going to be able to break away at this point. I probably, if I wanted to break away, I think I would have had to push probably over 600 or so and kept it on there for at least 30 to 40 seconds maybe, just so I could get away. But I was trying to save it a little bit, I think. I was kind of testing the waters just a little bit to see if they were going to follow. Of course they did. And then, so instead of doing a real big dig at that point, kind of settled back in and thought to myself, there's a mile left. I'm still in good position. Let's save it for the end here and see what we can do. So coming into that last mile at this point, and I remember we've got that hill, and I'm thinking, that hill is probably where people are going to punch it. They're going to use their feather, and that's where I'm going to have to push a lot of watts going up it just to be able to keep up with everybody. And so I believe that's coming up here in just a second. We still have 0.7 miles left. No panic yet. Still sitting in good position. Peloton's all together at this point. I'm checking over to my right just to see if anybody's ramping anything up. You can always tell when somebody's ramping it up over there when I guess their watts per kilogram turns red. So if you're paying attention a little bit to that, you can kind of tell who's making a break for it if they're ramping up pretty big. So I'm kind of watching out for that at this point. And here we go. We're coming into that final hill. And there we go. You got somebody off the front. You see a lot of red numbers there. They're going over 10 and 12 watts per kilogram, and I'm pushing out, trying to keep up with these guys here at the end. I probably should have punched it a little bit more than I did, and I'm realizing I've got a problem with my chain. So I pushed it up the hill, and something was going on with my chain here. I think it caught back, and that's kind of why I fell back right here. And then I am getting ready to gear up for the sprint here. I think I hit my arrow a little bit too late, and I'm also trying to sprint a little bit too late. And here we go. I start my sprint, and then of course my chain drops, and I couldn't even get up over 1,000 watts, and I'm basically just coasting into the finish line here. So yeah, it's my trainer bike, and you know, it happens, whatever. I mean, I don't use this bike very often outside or anything like that. It has been serviced a few times, and I have had my shifting and everything looked at, but you know, it does it sometimes. It's an old bike, and that's just what happens. So whatever. I did end up looking at my Zwift power, and I ended up finishing 10th out of, I think, 31 or 32. And so not too bad. I wish I was able to sprint there at the end, but you know, can't really do anything with a slight mechanical, I guess. Yeah, I just noticed that Cadman Cycling was in there racing with me. He's also got a YouTube channel, and he's actually one of the first YouTube channels that I checked out when I first started Zwift racing. And, you know, I was just kind of learning some of the things that he was doing on some of these races. But yeah, shout out to him. I'll link his YouTube in the description there. Check his YouTube out. He does a lot of Zwift races. So that's pretty cool to see. Another YouTube star out there. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I post videos. And I'm hoping to have some more videos out coming really soon. I've got some things in the works, and I will be posting those updates very soon here once I finish up the videos. But I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.